is we're still 1-0, so that didn't change from Friday night. We'll go ahead and get started. Again, I appreciate you guys coming and giving us the coverage that you do. As always, I'll just start with a quick game recap after we got a chance to watch the video, and then talk just quickly about our next opponent and take any questions that you guys have. As we looked at the game from Friday night, really the number one thing is we did what we needed to do, and that was to get a win. We played a lot of guys. We stayed healthy. We found out a lot about our team. We found out a lot about some players that played for the first time. We had several of them. We faced and handled some adversity early on in the game, so that was always good. As a coach, you'd love to have the first game be perfect and go exactly the way you want, but to be able to handle some adversity the way we did told us a lot about our football team, so that was good. There were a lot of positives to build off of in that game, especially after the first few minutes. Really excited about some of the players that played for the first time. They got a chance to get their feet wet. Maybe they were coming out of a red shirt, might have played in a few games last year, but significant starting time was a little different. McLean Carter, Matt Alimo, Raquan O'Neal, Paul Woods played a lot. Aaron Young played, Kayron Adams, Elijah Barnwell, Isaiah Washington, Brandon Meyer. That's just on offense. There were a lot of players that played really for the first time Friday night. Defensively, Malik Dixon, Jarrett Paul, those two guys started at safety for us, first time really for them to play. And they needed the reps. They didn't start off very good, but they really gained some confidence and made some plays as the game went on. Really, really pleased with what I saw out of them later on in the game. But the biggest thing about the victory, again, it was just finding out where our team's at, and it gave our players an opportunity to celebrate all their hard work that they put in, the sacrifices they made. And that was the best thing about Friday night in the locker room with those guys. Offensively, just a couple things. I think we showed a lot of potential. We talked about that Friday night. It was not a perfect game by any means, but I do think we had some outstanding snaps on offense. We showed a lot of big play potential. I think you saw some of the playmakers that we have. I think the quarterback and the skilled players all played pretty good for the opening game. I thought the O-line probably played one of its best games that an offensive line has played since I've been here. They were clean, at least. They were pretty fundamentally sound. I thought the communication was really good from an offensive line perspective as well. UMass in the first game presented a lot of different looks. They brought a lot of different pressures, and the offensive line did a really good job of picking those things up with their communication. The biggest thing coming out of Friday night offensively is just the 3 interceptions. We can't have it. We've got to eliminate them. It put us at -1 for the turnover margin here early in the season, and that's a big area of emphasis that we have to change as we go through the season. Defensively, the tempo got us early in the game. We can practice the tempo. We tried to simulate it, but you can never do it quite like an opponent's going to, and they were going fast. And it really put some stress on our guys to get aligned and communicate, as well as just think about what they're going to do, and we had a couple issues early in that game. Once we calmed down, we got used to it, we played pretty solid football for the next 3 quarters, so that was really good to see. But again, we can't have the early mental errors that lead to explosive plays like we had Friday night. So overall, special teams wise, I thought on our field goal PATs, we had a lot of them. We were 8 of 8. I thought the operation was good. There wasn't a whole lot other than maybe a couple of decent kick returns with Trey Avery, where there was, again, some potential for an explosive play throughout the season with him back there. But it was overall fairly clean. We had a big kickoff return that got out on us late in the game, but we had a bunch of new guys on the unit, first time going down the field at that moment, and we let one get out on us. But overall, I was really pleased with what I saw on film. A lot of things to work on. We are just really excited to get back to work on the things we need to improve and get ready for a Big Ten opener. We're going to go play Iowa. Iowa's a very, very tough opponent. Going to go on the road, which is always a challenge, but you're going to go on a road in a very tough environment. It's one of the best environments in our league and one of the best in college football. It's going to be an 11 a.m. kickoff that provides another challenge. So a lot of things that we have to try to get ready for. It'll be a different routine for us. A lot of these players have not traveled before with us, so it's going to be new to see them be able to handle that situation. But we've got to get a great week put together. We're healthy, we're 1-0, and we have a better feel of where our team is at right now. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for any questions.
Chris, we've gotten this question a lot since Friday night. Did you take over the defensive play calling after the first quarter?
No.
No. Were you involved at all to start?
I'm always involved in the defense. But no, Andy Boo is calling the defense, and I'm always involved in the defense, always communicating with the defensive staff. That'll always be the case with my background.
Now that you've had the chance to watch some film, what specifically does McLean need to be doing better out there?
Protect the football. That's the number one thing. And I think in his first start, that was his first start in a while, first significant playing time in a while. I think he was really trying to do a little too much on a couple of the throws and probably put the ball in harm's way. There were a couple other, he would have gone through his progression, some guys that were open, at least on one of those interceptions that he should have taken. But he just can't press and try to make the big play all the time.
You've said in the past that Iowa's program that you kind of want to model Rutgers after, how they're not getting top 25 programs maybe year in, year out, and they're able to get players who fit in their culture and retain them, develop them. Still feel that way, one, and then two, 4 years into it, are we closer to that model?
I mean, I'll never say that we're close enough, I feel like we said before, I feel like this is an opportunity to have our best football team, but Iowa's, they've been the model of consistency for years. Kirk's done an unbelievable job. I've got nothing but the utmost respect for him as a person and him as a coach and what he's done with the staff and the program. They try to do things first class in everything that they do. They coach exceptionally well. They develop guys. They recruit guys that, like you mentioned, fit their culture, fit their program that they can develop. And they're not worried about headlines and stars. They're worried about fits and the ability to develop. And it's been a pretty consistent and successful formula.
Looking ahead to Iowa, what kind of concerns you about them offensively and defensively?
Well, whenever you play Iowa, it all starts up front on the O-line and D-line. That's where they're always strong. That's where they're consistently good. And, it's going to be a battle at the line of scrimmage. And, if you're not ready for that battle, it can get ugly in a hurry when you play a team like this. So that's where it begins and ends. They've got experience on both sides of the ball. And, watching their game Saturday night against Miami, Ohio, I mean, they're good up front on both sides. They just don't beat themselves. So you got to be ready to battle at the line of scrimmage, and you're going to play a team that doesn't typically beat itself.
How do you feel your pass rush did after watching the film on Friday night?
It's hard to tell. I mean, what UMass did, we got 3 sacks, but UMass won the ball out in a hurry. You're not going to get a lot of sacks against a team that does that. You notice early in the game, it was a lot of quick screens. On a 4th down, we messed up our pass rush lanes, let the quarterback get out, and he was able to scramble and dump the ball off. They got a first down conversion. We can't do that, but we got the 3 sacks. But again, that style of offense and what they were trying to do, it's really hard to put pressure on the quarterback.
Alemo made some plays on Friday night. Moving forward, just how optimistic are you that he could be a bigger piece of the passing game?
Well, he's going to get better every week that we go. The improvement he's made since last January through spring practice and summer and training camp has been really impressive. He just was trying to figure out how to put on his pads right in the spring, and now he's out there starting and making plays in game 1. So he's come a long way. I couldn't be happier for him for what he's gone through and the whole recruiting process and transfer, and to be able to start his first game and make some plays like he did. Really excited for him, and he's only going to get better. The kid, he knows football. He's working extremely hard, and I'm excited to see what he can do with our offense moving forward.
Trey Neiman back at Iowa, is that a factor? Is your defense different enough? It's only a couple months ago where he was actually scheming these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys have asked that question before, like, how much does a coach going from one program to another play in a game like this? You asked me that about, Ohio State in the past, and it's about the players. The players got to go out and play the game and execute the calls. And whether a coach has been in the program or whatever and may know a little bit about what you do, the players have to go out and execute. That's what it's about. It's not about coach against coach. It's about a staff that can prepare the players. The players go out and execute with great effort and consistency on game day.
Against UMass, used a lot of receivers. We didn't see a lot of Shamin or Andy Lewis. Was that injury-related situational or just performance?
A number of things, different things. Yeah, but they'll both be factored in our offense as we move forward.
Nate Stanley, what do you see on him on film? He seems like he's maybe the more underrated guys in the conference at quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know about rating him or anything like that. I see a good player. I see a big, strong, experienced player. He's got a strong arm, understands our offense, runs our offense with efficiency, can make a lot of throws, plays with confidence. You know, he's a good player. Really impressed with what I see on film.
Last summer, you were very high on Jared Paul. You know, now that he's started, he's playing now. Just how gratifying is it to see him take such a step forward like that?
Well, he's got to take some bigger steps. I mean, he started Friday night. He had some ups and downs as we expected. He probably would in his first start in the secondary, especially against a team like that where there were unknowns and they were trying to go really fast, and it was tough to, you know, really get him prepared for all the things he might see for the first time. But again, outside of the first few minutes where it wasn't always clean and pretty for him, he settled down and played some really good football and made some plays. But that's what he needed to do. It's the only way he's going to get better is to go get reps and play. And I'm still really high on Jared Paul and what his future looks like here. And I'm excited to watch him continue to play here this season.
Going back to Iowa, I mean, any sentimental feelings going back?
No.
Were you an Iowa fan growing up?
I was, yeah. I was. You know, my hometown is about an hour south of Iowa City, and grew up, you know, in that part of the country there. It's what they call Hawkeye country, and yeah, my whole family grew up as Iowa fans.
Did you go to a lot of games, or? You know,
not really. I don't think I started going to any games until probably after high school, to be honest with you. And I didn't go to many games there. Probably been to 3 or 4 games there.
Chris, looking back at the game, the UMass game, it looked like you and Walt Bell had a lengthy conversation at the end of the game.
Say what?
It looked like you and Walt Bell had a lengthy conversation after the game. What did he say to you?
Oh, just typical, you know, coach conversation after a game. You know, wishing each other good luck, and that's it.
And then looking forward towards Iowa, what do you see out of their running back, Sargent?
A very good player. He's got speed. He's got toughness. You know, he holds on to the ball, with ball security. He's a good player, and he's a major part of their offense.
Anything else there?
Yes. Chris, I know you don't like to look at this, but how important is it to have the opportunities to get, you know, Pat talked about in the summer, a signature win, to beat a team that's in the upper echelon of the conference like Iowa, just to have that opportunity to kind of get that program win?
Every win's a program win. You know, we're not worried about, you know, any particular opponent that we need to beat. We're worried about just trying to get better, and we're trying to play the best we can on Saturday. I don't care who it is we play against. So, you know, they're all signature wins. Last Friday night was a signature win. They're all the same.
You mentioned after the game, but John's game plan, after you watch the film, 21 touches apiece for Pacheco last year, got Bo involved and got McLean comfortable. Those were things that I saw.
Yeah.
Looking back on film, were you able to, you know, were you pleased with the game plan overall?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really the, you know, the vision of what we want with our offense with the players that we have right now. We talked a lot about some of the changes, not in detail specifically, but we talked about some changes that we made to our offense to fit our personnel. That was the biggest thing about John coming back. I think you probably saw that on display Friday. You saw some things that we have not done in the past, but it's what fits our players, and it's what we have to do to try to have success. And you didn't see all of what we have, you know, in the offense Friday night either. We've got a lot more, but I think you saw some potential with what we're doing, the changes that we've made.
The only other Big Ten school to offer Isaiah Pacheco scholarship in high school was Iowa. Do you feel like that will change the significance for either him or Iowa coming off the game he had Friday night?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Isaiah is a very good football player. He's going to run hard and try to do his job to the best of his ability, regardless of who we play. You know, he's just focused on being the best that he can be, and it doesn't. Recruiting's recruiting in the past. I don't even know who all offered him, to be honest with you.
One question? Thanks, man.
Hey, Chris.
All right.